And the reason that I haven't provided
Well, those are rumors. Well, maybe you should have been obligated to your wife whenever you were having an affair with me.
Ooh, wasn't expecting that much tea this morning. Okay, Miss Canada, all right. You brought this case before the court. What's going on?
I'm seeking child support and back pay from the...
Before we even step inside this courtroom, let's talk about the kind of case that can turn a quiet legal hearing into absolute chaos. Today's case looks simple on the surface, a woman asking for child support from a man she claims is the father of her 3-year-old child. But as we're about to see, nothing about this situation is simple. On one side, we have Rachel, who says she hasn't received a single dollar of support in 3 years. On the other side is Terry, the alleged father, who insists he's willing to take responsibility, but only under one condition. And that one condition? A DNA test. Now normally that wouldn't seem like a big deal. But the moment paternity gets questioned in a courtroom like this, the drama escalates fast. Allegations start flying, past relationships get exposed, and sometimes secrets come out that nobody expected, and in this case, those secrets involve something even messier, a workplace affair, a married man, and rumors about other possible fathers. So the big question is simple, but the answer...
That's what I like, just get right into it. How old is the child?
The child is now 3 years old.
3 years old.
And I have not received any child support.
In 3 years? All right. Sir, is there a reason you haven't given her any child support in the past 3 years?
Yes, ma'am, there is.
What is that?
We've been discussing the paternity obligation.
You can feel the tension exploding before the case even properly starts. And what's interesting here is how quickly this conversation goes from a legal dispute to a very personal attack. Terry suggests that Rachel may have been seeing other people at the same time, which instantly casts doubt on the paternity question, but Rachel fires back with something equally explosive, reminding everyone in the room that Terry was actually married during their relationship. That changes the tone of this case completely. We're not just talking about child support anymore. We're talking about an affair, possible deception, and a situation that could affect multiple families. And here's something worth thinking about. If you were in Terry's position, would you demand a DNA test before paying child support? Or do you think he's using that request to delay
circumstances? I don't think I was the only person having a fling with Rocky at the time that she and I had.
This is where the legal foundation of the case starts to take shape. Terry isn't outright refusing to support the child. Instead, he's drawing a very clear line. He wants proof before accepting responsibility. From a legal standpoint, that's actually a very common request in cases where paternity hasn't been officially established. Courts rely heavily on DNA testing because child support decisions can impact someone financially for nearly 2 decades, but here's where it gets complicated. Rachel claims she hasn't received any support for 3 years. That's a long time to wait if you're raising a child alone. Rachel says she's been abandoned financially. Ari says he's protecting himself from potentially paying for a child that may not be.
Are you implying something?
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I understand that you may have been seeing some other people in addition to me. And the reason that I didn't...
Those are rumors.
I understand that. I understand that. But you haven't complied with my request for DNA test either, and that's my key. Is that if I have an obligation, I like to make sure it is my obligation and not the obligation of...
3 years without support is a serious claim, and it immediately raises questions about what happened after the child was born. In most situations like this, legal paperwork is filed early to establish paternity and determine financial responsibility, but based on what we're hearing so far, that process never happened here, and that's important, because without official documentation, such as signing a birth certificate or acknowledging paternity, the court often has very limited grounds to enforce child support immediately. So Rachel may genuinely feel wronged, but legally the judge still has to verify whether Terry is actually the father.
You should have been obligated to your wife whenever you were having an affair with me.
You're right about that. And honest
so
truth
you are admitting that you're married?
Yes.
This moment is critical because Terry officially puts the issue of paternity on the table. And once that happens, the entire case shifts direction. Instead of debating payments, the court now has to determine whether Terry is legally responsible at all. But Terry doesn't stop there. He goes further and suggests that Rachel may have been involved with other people.
I've told her that we had this fling.
You didn't tell me you were married until after.
That's correct. That's correct. So, from my perspective, Your Honor, I certainly understand the situation. I'm not trying to be hard-hearted, so to speak, about this, but I think that there's some other questions that need to be answered before we agree on paying any kind of support, because at this point, we haven't confirmed whose child this is.
During the same time period, now that accusation carries serious weight in a paternity dispute, because if there's even a possibility that another man could be the father, the court must investigate before ordering any financial obligations. Still, accusations like this can also be emotionally charged and humiliating for the other party. So the judge now faces a delicate balance, protecting legal fairness while
we have some questions too, but I don't think they have anything to do with child support. It's more about you guys' backstory. But they have taken a DNA test at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did he sign anything at the hospital?
No, he wasn't
acknowledging that he was the father? I have a valid point. Before we can actually place him on child support, he either has to accept parentage, which, according to what I'm hearing, you're really not accepting it.
He's in denial about his affair and doesn't want his wife to.
And there it is, the statement that completely changes the temperature in the room. Why suggesting that Rachel may have had multiple partners at the time, Terry introduces reasonable doubt about paternity. But at the same time, it's a
knows.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
right.
knows now.
He's lying.
You told her?
I would have heard from her by now. I work with him, ma'am.
Oh. At the welding place?
I'm a receptionist there.
Receptionist there, I'm a manager.
That's how we met.
You're her direct manager. Oh, okay. Ooh, wasn't expecting that much tea this morning. He's entitled to a DNA test.
Sure.
Okay, so before we can move forward with anything in terms of child support, looking at your financial documents you provided, he first needs to get
claim that could seriously damage Rachel's credibility if the judge believes it. This is where courtroom psychology becomes these statements are genuine concerns. Other times they're strategic moves designed to delay financial responsibility. So the question now becomes, is Terry raising a...
You are more than welcome to bring back as many people as necessary. I'm not implying by any means that what he's saying is true.
Right, he's definitely
But if he's
the
not
father.
the father, you can bring back as many people as necessary to get DNA testing and we actually find the father and place him on.
It is, so that's not necessary, but thank you.
Okay, okay. Is there anything further?
Your Honor, can we get your assistance in having this thing compelled so that we can get this DNA testing done expeditiously?
Attorney General's office.
Okay.
Because they are actually on site in the courtroom and it will be in the courthouse rather. And it will be much easier and free to you all to go ahead and use.
If I have obligations here, I'll stand behind them.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
legitimate issue, or trying to create enough doubt to avoid child support? More importantly, how will the judge handle a situation where both sides are making accusations but there's no scientific proof yet? C.